I am from Government Polytechnic, Bagepalli. My topic for today is career planning. So first, before we start a lecture on career planning, you need to know what a career is, and you need to know what a job is. What is the difference between a job and a career? So a job is something that you do to earn money, minimal impact on your future, on your life. So it is just something that you do for getting money. But career is something that is a series of connected jobs, and it is something that provides experience, and it future experiences, and it is a lifelong journey. And this career includes all the jobs that you do, your occupation, and everything. Let's take an example of a doctor. Being a doctor is his career, but if he works in a hospital, that becomes his job. So that is between a career and a job. A career can also be a voluntary work as long as you're doing what you're trained to do. So that's another point. If you're interested in a career, when you plan a career, you need to have a training that is a training that is relevant to your career, relevant to what you have planned. It is like this. This is manage your career, and in this you have to assess yourself. That is, evaluate yourself. Your textbook says the first point is you need to evaluate yourself. When you evaluate yourself, you're doing an introspection. You want to know what it is that you are interested in. How do you want to spend the rest of your life? You will be spending at least 30 to 35 years of your life in a particular career. So you need to know what interests you and what does not. So in order to do this, you need to assess yourself. You need to evaluate yourself. You need to know about yourself. And this is where we come across the SWOT analysis. We need to know what our strengths are, what our weaknesses are, what our opportunities are, and what our threats are. So ನಮ್ಮ ಸ್ಟ್ರೆಂತ್, ನಮ್ಮ ಶಕ್ತಿ ಏನಿದೆ, ನಮ್ಮ ವೀಕ್ನೆಸ್, ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿರೋ ಕೊರತೆಗಳು ಏನಿದೆ, ನಮ್ಗೆ ಏನೇನು ಆಪರ್ಚುನಿಟೀಸ್ ಇದೆ, ನಮ್ಗೆ ತೊಂದರೆ ಮಾಡುವಂತಹದ್ದು ಏನಿದೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಲೈಫಲ್ಲಿ. ಸೊ ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ನೀವು ತಿಳಿದಿಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ನೋಡಿದ್ಮೇಲೆ, ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ನೀವು ಲಿಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ಮೇಲೆ ನಾವು ಕೆರಿಯರ್ ಅನ್ನೋದು ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಏನ್ ಕೆರಿಯರ್ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಅನ್ವಯಿಸುತ್ತದೆ, ಆ ಕೆರಿಯರ್ನ ನೀವು ಚೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬಹುದು. So first you assess yourself. The next thing you do is explore. Explore options. So ivaga, when we were young, there were not this many job opportunities available. But ivaga there are so many opportunities. Yavade field bekadru ನೀವು ಹೋಗಬಹುದು. ಸೊ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಯಾವ ಫೀಲ್ಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಅದನ್ನ ನೀವು ಮೊದಲು ಕಂಡು ಹಿಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ, ನೀವು ಆ ಫೀಲ್ಡ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು ಯಾವುದೇ ತರ ಕೆಲಸ ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೂ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. ಆಮೇಲೆ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಯು ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಅ ಪ್ಲಾನ್. Create a plan and set goals. ಸೊ ಇವಾಗ ಪ್ಲಾನ್ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರಿ, ನಾನು ಮುಂದೆ ಲೈಫ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ಹಿಂಗೆ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು, ಇದೇ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಪ್ಲಾನ್ suitable for you. So now, what is career planning? It is an ongoing process. Andre iವಾಗ ಒಂದ್ಸತಿ ನೀವು career plan ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಬಿಟ್ಬಿಡಕ್ಕಾಗತ್ತಾ? No, you can't do that. You need to keep reviewing your plan. So okay, so now you're still students. You have a plan. So you plan your career. Maybe you get training. You do all that to get the job that you desire, your dream job, as it were. And then you think about your interests, your values, your skills, your preferences. So all that you see, you find yourself a career. This is the line I want to go in. Idu ನನಗೆ ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಇರುವಂತ. ಇವಾಗ ನೀವೆಲ್ಲ ಆಗ್ಲೇ ಡಿಪ್ಲೊಮಾ ಸೇರ್ಕೊಂಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀರಾ. So there is nothing you can do about it. So you're already going to, in about 3 years' time, you're going to be mechanical engineers, electronic engineers, automobile engineers, or whatever it is that you're doing your diploma in. So that is going to be your career. But then in this, you have so many other options. You can go into sales field, you can go into research field, you can go into manufacturing field or production field. So there are so many other options. So you need to know what exactly interests you, what grabs your interest. And then, when you cease to be students after 3 years. And then your responsibilities increase. Some of you will, go in for higher studies. Some of you will go in for jobs. Maybe some of you will even get married. So you have different, you have, different responsibilities. ಒತ್ತಡಗಳು ಬೇಕಾದಷ್ಟು ಬೇರೆ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ. ಆವಾಗ you try to, plan your career again, taking all those other opportunities and threats into consideration. And you have to ensure that your work fits with your personal circumstances, whatever your circumstances are. Because, no man is an island. You live in society, you live with your parents, you live with your family. So you have to take their well-being also into consideration. You cannot just say, I want to do this, to hell with everybody else. It doesn't work that way. No, at least not in our society. So you need to take everybody else into consideration. You need to think about their well-being as well. So you have to think about your personal circumstances and make sure that your career fits that circumstance. You have to continuously fine-tune your work and learning plans. That is another thing. Even after you've joined a job, even after you've started your career, you need to, get new training. In order to advance in your career, you need training. And again, in which path do you want to advance? You want to go higher up in the research field, or do you want to go higher in your production field, or do you want to go higher in your sales field? You need to find out. So here you have to take training that is relevant to your choice. So now there are several steps involved in choosing your career. The first thing, of course, I cannot emphasize this enough. It is to know yourself. You need to evaluate yourself. You need to assess yourself. ನಮ್ಮ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಾವು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ತಿಳ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. ನಮಗೇನ್ ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಇದೆ, ನಮ್ಮ ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟ್, ನಾವು ಇವಾಗ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರೋಂತ ಕೆಲಸ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಇದೆಯಾ, ನಮ್ಗೆ in the next 30-35 years of my life, can I do the same thing? Can I continue in this without losing interest, without losing focus, without losing sleep over this, without losing my peace of mind? ಇದನ್ನ ನಾನು ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ 30-35 ವರ್ಷ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯನಾ? ಇದನ್ನ ನೀವು ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ನೋಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಇರೋದು ಯಾವ ಫೀಲ್ಡ್, and then what skills do you have? See, if you're already a good talker, you're good at debate, you can go into sales field because you're good at talking. So you can convince people, you can talk to them, convince people. So a sales job would be ideal for you. Then you research your options. What are the various options available? So first idea, nange ee field al interest ide anta you have already made a list. You can maybe make a list of 2-3 things that interest you. Not a problem. And then you explore all the options that are available in that field of interest. Whichever field you're interested in that field of interest, explore all your options. And why you just need to explore options? Because there are so many things. There are jobs, that are, that have a fixed time. There are jobs that have flexible timings, and there are jobs that are in shifts. You need to take into all that, because you again live in a family. So, ನಮ್ಮ family situation ಮನಸ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ನಾವು ನಮ್ಮ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ಸ್, ನಮ್ಗೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೇನ್ ಚಾಯ್ಸಸ್ ಇದೆ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ನಾವು ನೋಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. And then you make connections. So first ನಾವು ನಮ್ಮ ಸಿಚುವೇಶನ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ವಿ. So now we know what exactly you're interested in. So ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ನಿಮ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ, ನಿಮ್ ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟ್, ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಯಾವ್ದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಆಸಕ್ತಿ ಇದೆ ಅದನ್ನ ನೀವು ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರಿ. ಅಂಡ್ ಬರೀ ಆಸಕ್ತಿ ಒಂದೇ ಅಲ್ಲ, ನಮ್ಗೆ ಮಾಡಕ್ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಇಲ್ಲದೆ ಇರೋದು ಏನೇನಿದೆ, ಆಪರ್ಚುನಿಟೀಸ್ ಏನೇನಿದೆ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಆಪರ್ಚುನಿಟೀಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಯು ಕುಡ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಅ ವೆರಿ ಸಪೋರ್ಟಿವ್ ಫ್ಯಾಮಿಲಿ. your parents could say, ಎಲ್ಲಾನು ಹೋಗಿ ಪರವಾಗಿಲ್ಲ, ವರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡು, ವಿ ಡೋಂಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಅ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ವಿತ್ ದಟ್ ಅಂತಾರೆ. ಅಥವಾ ಕೆಲವು ಫ್ಯಾಮಿಲಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಇಲ್ಲಪ್ಪ, ನಮ್ಮನ್ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಡ, ಟ್ರೈ ಟು ಫೈಂಡ್ ಅ ಜಾಬ್, ನಮ್ಮ ಮನೆ ಹತ್ರನೇ ಯಾವ್ದಾನ ಇರೋ ಜಾಬ್, try to find a job in our area itself. So that could be a threat. So you need to know what your opportunities are, what your threats are. So you make connections. So now you have identified the kind of career that you want to do, where you want to work. ಅದನ್ನ ನೀವು ನೋಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀರಾ, ಯಾವ ತರ ಕೆಲಸ, not exactly, maybe not the kind of employer, but at least what exactly what kind of job you want to do, ಅದನ್ನ ನೀವು ನೋಡ್ಕೊಡಾಗಿದೆ. ಸೊ ಇವಾಗ ಆ ತರ ಕೆಲಸ ಕೊಡುವಂತ ಎಂಪ್ಲಾಯರ್ಸ್ ಯಾರ್ಯಾರಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅದನ್ನ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಲಿಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಮಗೆ ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಇರುವಂತ ಫೀಲ್ಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಕೊಡುವಂತವ್ರು ಪ್ರಾಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಎಂಪ್ಲಾಯರ್ಸ್ who are there out there. So you need to make a list of all the prospective employers who give employment in the field that you are interested in. But then, as a student, you have one big threat. Everybody, everywhere, you go, people say, we want people with experience. So how do you get experience? So this is something that is, that you need to work on. You have vacations. After the first year, before you go to the second year, you have almost 2 months time. And then again, from the second year to the third year, you have almost 2 months time. So instead of just wasting that, going to movies, going on trips with your friends and, frittering away those 2 months, you can go to some office. Even if they don't pay much, does not matter. At least, they will give you some apprenticeship training and they will give you a certificate, which is almost, equivalent to gold for you, because this experience, this certificate is your experience certificate. So, and he will also say, and when you go there, there are 2 things that happen. 1, you get experience. And 2, you also make connections. You know whom to talk to. Tomorrow, when you finish your course, you can go approach those people, talk to them, ask for a job there. Or you can, you get the inside information about some vacancies that are not advertised outside. So you get all these benefits. So you make connections. Then you can also make connections with the HR people, the HR human resource development people. So these HR people are the ones who offer the job. They are the ones who are in charge of the personnel management. So you make connections with them. You talk to them. You say, they know exactly what you're capable of because you've already worked there as an apprentice. So they know your capabilities. ನಿಮ್ಮಿಂದ ಏನೇನ್ ಸಾಧ್ಯ, ನೀವು ಎಷ್ಟು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ ಅಂತ ಅವರು ಆಗ್ಲೇ ನೀವು ಅಪ್ರೆಂಟಿಸ್ಶಿಪ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮ್ಮನ್ನ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿರ್ತಾರೆ. So they know what you're capable of. And then, supposing with all this, you still don't know what to do. You have a problem. then you can go see a counselor. A counselor doesn't necessarily have to be a psychiatrist. No, you're not mad. You don't need to go to a psychiatrist. But there are plenty of career counselors. They give you a series of aptitude tests and they tell you that this is your field of interest. You know, if you're not able to find out on your own what your field of interest is, if you're not able to assess yourself on your own or with the help of your parents or teachers, then you can go to a professional counselor. These counselors, there are in many colleges, they already have a professional counselor who's appointed there, but that does not happen in polytechnics. So you need to go see a professional counselor, and this person will give you a series of tests, aptitude tests, and based on your answer to those tests, they tell you that you're interested, your field of interest lies in sales, or maybe it lies in R&D, research and development, or it lies in something like, you know, production. It could be anything. So they will tell you what exactly your field of interest is. And based on all this, so you gather all this information about yourself, about your options that are available, about connections. You know, when you make connections, they tell you about the openings that are available. Then the experience that you get. So once you have started work, once you've worked as an apprentice, you know if that is a suitable job for you or not. So if nothing else, even if you think that 2 months is wasted, it is not wasted, because you know at least that those 2 months I did something that was not interesting at all, and I don't want to do this for the rest of my career. I don't want to, do this kind of job. At least ashtana gottagattalla. Nan ee tara kelsa madlikke ishta illa nanage. So bere options na hudukobodu. And then finally you make a decision. So this is exactly what I want to do, preferably in this kind of company. So company, of course, that is not in your control. It depends on how, at that moment when you are ready for a job, whether they have vacancies and how well you perform in interviews and all those other things. So that you don't have a control on the company that you want to work for, but at least you have a control over the kind of job that you want to work in. At the end of this, you will have a plan. So, istalla aadmele you one plan formulate madkoltira. So you formulate a plan to explore options further. So idella aadmele inna ondast options na research madabodu, because now you know more about yourself, more about the options available, more about the kind of job that you're expected to do. Because even there, you need to know what kind of job it is, whether the job requires you to work in shifts, or whether it is a fixed timing, or they have a flexible timing. So all that, again, you will find out. A plan, and then you also have another plan, which sets out the steps to help you achieve your next learning work or work goal. So now you know the next step to do. Next, naan yen madbekagide. Nange, when you've already worked as an apprentice, or when you have made a research of your options, you know what you lack. Nammalli yav thara skills illa annadu nimage gottagatte. So at least those skills you can try to acquire. So career planning must begin with an objective. So ivaga career planning andaga first one goal, objective irbeku. Why do I want a career? First of all, career namage yake beku. What is the need for a career? What am I going to do when I get a job? Or am I just going to do the same job for the next 30 years and retire and say, thank you very much? No, that doesn't happen. You can't do that, because you want to advance further. You want to rise up in your company. So for that, what do you need? You need some training. You need to go to the next step. That is learning or work goal. So now you need to set goals. Nan intin sadana nan kalibeku, learning goal. Work goal. Nan intinta kelsa madbeku. So that becomes your work goal. So now you have an objective. Esto jana kelidre ಮುಂದೆ ನೀನು ಏನ್ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸಕ್ಸಸ್ಫುಲ್ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತಾರೆ. I want to become successful, but I want to become successful is not an answer. Okay, so you want to become successful. What do you mean by success? How would you define success? Success ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? ಕೆಲವರಿಗೆ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಹಣ ಸಂಪಾದನೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಸಕ್ಸಸ್ ಅಂತಾರೆ. But then ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಹಣ ಸಂಪಾದನೆ ಮಾಡೋದು ಒಂದೇ ಅಲ್ಲ. There are so many other things involved. Now it depends on your personal aspirations. ಇವಾಗ ನೀವು as a student success ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಏನು? You want to get good marks in the exam. So that is success. But then when you start work, you say ನಾನು ತುಂಬಾ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಸಂಬಳ ಬರಬೇಕು. See, in 3 years time your definition of success changes. And then when you work for about 10 years, then you say nan manager agbeku. That would be your definition of success at that time, because you already are working, you're earning. So then your next definition of success would be, maybe you want to become the manager of the company or something like that. So at every point of life, your definition of success changes. So you need to know what exactly success is. So success is a very broad-based term. So success is not exactly the answer. And this success changes with your personal aspirations, with your values, with your self-image, with your age, with your background, etc. So with all this, your definition of success changes. So it is a personally defined concept. See, like, if you're, very old, you've already retired, then definition of success there would be, na nemmadiyagirbeku, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ spiritually oriented. So that would be the person's idea of success, because now he has nothing else to work for. But he wants to aspire to an elevated state of spirituality. And then when you're, in your 40s, again, success, I want to do well in my career. I want my children to do well in their studies or whatever it is they have chosen to do. So again, success there is different. So it is a personal concept. It's a personally defined concept. It is not the same for everybody. And for the same person at different stages in life, the definition of success changes. So you need to know what exactly your objectives are. So career planning must be done on a regular basis. So again, now we saw that success changes at different stages of life from person to person. So now you need to define your own success. What exactly is success? So ಆವಾಗ ನೀವು ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಸರಿಯಾಗಿ ನೀವು ಪ್ಲಾನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು. You plan your career accordingly. So it is an ongoing process. Career planning is not a single time process. So one sati career plan ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಅದಷ್ಟೇ ಅಂತ ಬಿಡಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. You have to keep doing it. You have to keep reviewing your plan, periodically. At least make it an annual event. ಒಂದೊಂದು ವರ್ಷಕ್ಕೂ ನೋಡಿ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಒಂದು ಪ್ಲಾನ್. ಇವಾಗ you're all in the first year, because the students who are watching this would probably be first year diploma students. So you're still in the first year. You still have 2 more years of diploma to do. So now in the first year, you know you have already made an evaluation about yourself. You have assessed your interests. You've made a SWOT analysis, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats. You've made a SWOT analysis. You know something about yourself. See, this is something that nobody else can help you. Your parents cannot say, hey, sales hogbido, ninge ade sari. For your father, maybe sales hogbidodu probably is the best option. But then you have to see whether sales is the kind of job you want to do. So this is something that nobody else can help you with. You have got to do it yourself. What you really want of your career and your life. Nam life inda namage yen beku, nam career inda namage yen beku. Because a career is a very, is an integrated part of your life. So, like I told you, being a doctor is a career, but working in different hospitals would become job. So, career is something that you, or whether you're working or not, in job irli bidli, career ಅನ್ನೋದು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರನೇ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ನೀವು ರಿಟೈರ್ ಆದ್ಮೇಲೂ ನಿಮ್ದು ಕೆರಿಯರ್ ಇದ್ದೇ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ನೀವೇನಾನು ವಾಲಂಟರಿ ವರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. ವಾಲಂಟರಿ ವರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ you don't get paid for it, but still that is your career. It is not a job. So chart a career path since your last career planning. So ವರ್ಷಕ್ಕೆ ಒಂದ್ಸತಿ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ. So last career planning, ಹೋದ್ ಸತಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಕ್ಕೂ ಈ ಸತಿಗೂ career planning ತಿರ್ಗಾ ಚಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಆವಾಗ you will get, you can ask yourself questions like, am I happy with this job? ನಾನು ಈ ತರ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ನನಗೆ ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಇದೆಯಾ? ನಾನು ಇವಾಗ ಸಪೋಸಿಂಗ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಇನ್ ಅ ಜಾಬ್, ನೀವು ಏನ್ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಿ ಅದು ನನಗೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಇದೆಯಾ ಇಲ್ವಾ? Are you happy with what you're doing? And if you're not happy, you can ask yourself, what could I have done differently? ನಾನು ಏನ್ ಬೇರೆಯಾಗಿ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದಾಗಿತ್ತು? So accordingly, you can base your next career path. What can I do differently in the future? So now future nalli career ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಾನು ಏನ್ steps ತಗೋಬಹುದು? What can I do? Of course, you cannot change your career, but at least you can change the kind of jobs that you do in your career. So reflect on your likes and dislikes, needs and wants. So ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಇಷ್ಟ ಇರೋದು ಏನು, ಇಷ್ಟ ಇಲ್ಲದೆ ಇರೋದು ಏನು, ಬೇಕಾಗಿರೋದು ಏನು, ಅಗತ್ಯವಾಗಿರೋದು ಏನು. See, needs are something that are necessary, but wants are something that are not necessary, but you want it anyway. Beku, but ಅದೇನ್ ಅಗತ್ಯ ಅಂತ ಏನಿಲ್ಲ, but you still want it. So likes and dislikes, ನಮ್ಗೆ ಇಷ್ಟ ಇರೋದು, ನಮ್ಗೆ ಇಷ್ಟ ಇಲ್ಲದೆ ಅದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲಾನು ಲಿಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. So that way you will know what exactly you want from life, what exactly you want from your career. Set a smart goal, we say. Now, what exactly is a smart goal? The smart goals can be specific, then measurable, then attainable, relevant, and time out. SMART, smart goals. So now when you have a goal, it has to be specific. You cannot loosely say something like, oh, I want to become an automobile engineer. When I asked this question in class, what do you want to do? I asked them to, write about themselves, a paragraph on self-introduction. And they say, I want to become an engineer. Now, engineer can be anything. You can be, an engineer in the field of mechanical engineering, in electronics, in computer science, in automobile. There are so many options. In civil, so what exactly do you want to do? So I'm an engineer agbeku ma'am antare. Engineer andre yenu? Exactly what engineering are you looking at? So you have to be specific. Your goal has to be specific. And then you have to make a measurable goal. So ಇವಾಗ ನಾವು ಗೋಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಅದನ್ನ ಮೆಷರ್ ಮಾಡುವಂತಹದಿರ್ಬೇಕು. You need to be able to measure your goals. Measure ಅಂದ್ರೆ you'll have to know ನಾವ್ ಇವಾಗ ಆ ಗೋಲ್ ನ ಅಟೈನ್ ಮಾಡಿದೀವಾ ಇಲ್ವಾ, ಮೆಷರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು. ಅಂದ್ರೆ you need to know if you have attained your goal or not. Then attainable. Ee goal na now mutlik sadhyana ilva. You need to know whether you have it is possible to achieve this goal. If I cannot simply say I want to become the president of India, that is my goal, Andre. Is it an attainable goal? No, it is definitely not an attainable goal. So you have to make sure that your goals can be achieved. If not now, at least in 5 years' time, in 10 years' time. So you have to make sure that you make an attainable goal for yourself. Set an attainable goal for yourself. Then is it relevant? So now, you see, you've taken a seat for, let's say, mechanical engineering. And then you say, I want to, do something about building roads and building bridges, which is not exactly relevant to your field of study. It is more relevant to a civil engineer. So it has to be relevant to your field of study. Only then it can be attainable. See, if it is a relevant goal, you will be able to attain it. If it is irrelevant, you will never be able to achieve it. And then you say, oh, this goal setting is all bullshit. It doesn't work. It works, but you have to make sure it works. You have to make sure that it is specific, it is measurable, it is attainable, it is relevant. And lastly, it has to be time bound. You have to set yourself a particular time. I have to attain the goal in this much time. 5 ವರ್ಷದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ಹಿಂಗಿರ್ಬೇಕು, 10 ವರ್ಷದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ಹಿಂಗಿರ್ಬೇಕು. ಆ ತರ ಟೈಮ್ ಬೌಂಡ್ ಇಟ್ಕೋಬೇಕು ನಿಮ್ ಗೋಲ್ನ. ನಾಟ್ ಸಮ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಇನ್ ದ ನಾನು 100 ವರ್ಷ ತನಕ ಬದುಕ್ತೀನಿ, 100 ವರ್ಷದಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವಾಗ ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೂ ಆಗ್ಲಿ, ಬಟ್ ಆಗ್ಲಿ. It doesn't work. If you don't have a time bound goal, it does not work. So career indecision and a lack of career planning results in costly consequences. So when you're undecided about your career and you have not planned your career, it becomes very costly in terms of time, in terms of money. See, I have so many students, in a period of 30 years, we have seen so many students who have taken a seat in, one particular course, and then they've decided 1 varsha aadmele no nange electronics is iಷ್ಟ ಇಲ್ಲ, computer science is iಷ್ಟ ಇಲ್ಲ, so they next come back, take readmission in some other course. Now that is, that way they have lost money, they have also lost time, they have lost 1 precious year of their life for nothing. So you need to plan your career even before you step into the kind of course that you want to do. Realize the many career choices available to you. Madle ನೀವು ನೋಡ್ಕೊಂಬಿಡಿ. What are the career choices that I want to do? ನಮಗ್ ಇರುವಂತ choices ಏನೇನ್ ಇವೆ? Is it possible to do all this in this lifetime? Doing, ನಾನು ಇವಾಗ ಈ ಕೋರ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರೋದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ನನ್ನ ಗೋಲ್ಸ್ ರೀಚ್ ಆಗಕ್ ಸಾಧ್ಯನಾ? So then you can either change your goal or change your career. But it is always better to make sure that before you have to change your career, make sure that it is, that is the field of interest that you are studying. Have an increased sense of self-awareness. Nam ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಾವು ತಿಳಿದಿರ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. What are we? ನಮಗೇನ್ ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಇದೆ? ನಮ್ ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಈ ಕೆರಿಯರ್ ಇಂದ ನಮ್ ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಫೀಡ್ ಆಗತ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ವಾ? Do I get what I want out of life by doing what I am doing now? Because ultimately money is not important. Peace of mind is important. You need to, when you're old, you need to look back on your life and say, yes, this is exactly what, I wanted my life to be like. This is exactly what I want from life. See, that is more important. At the end of the day, peace of mind is very important. Then develop a well-targeted resume. So once you have chosen your career, you develop a well-targeted resume. So many times you send out your applications with a resume or a biodata. Resume is also called biodata. So your resume people know what exactly you have done, what your educational qualifications are, what your extra trainings, whatever you have, or what your interests are. So based on that, people will call you for an interview. So now, if you're interested in, let's say, production line, there is really no point in writing a resume that is more suitable for a sales line. So you need to have a resume that is targeted for a production line. So this is again something that a counselor will be able to help you with if you're not able to do it yourself. And then you prepare for interviews. And obviously, different paths, different career paths have different kinds of interview. The kind of questions they ask are different. Of course, they will ask you about your subject. You'll need to know your subject kind of in depth. But then they will also ask you about your interests. They are testing you on whether you will be successful, you will be suitable for the job or not. And so you need to prepare yourself for the interview. And develop relations with human resource professionals. I cannot stress on this enough. Having a relationship with the human resource personnel tells you exactly what kind of personnel they are looking for. See, that is more important. You need to know, iವಾಗ ನನಗೆ ಸೇಲ್ಸ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಆಸಕ್ತಿ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಣ. ಆ ಸೇಲ್ಸ್ ಫೀಲ್ಡ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಅವ್ರು ಯಾವ ತರ ಕ್ಯಾಂಡಿಡೇಟ್ಸ್ ನ ಅವ್ರು ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಅವ್ರು ಯಾವ ತರ ಕ್ಯಾಂಡಿಡೇಟ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಪ್ರಿಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಇಂಥದ್ದನ್ನ ನೀವು when you have connection with the HR personnel, you can get this kind of information. And then again, you can also talk to people who are already working there, people who are working in the kind of job that you want to do. ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಕೆಲಸ ಹೆಂಗ್ ಸಿಕ್ತು, ನೀವು ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಏನೇನ್ ಟ್ರೈನಿಂಗ್ ಗಳು ತಗೊಂಡ್ರಿ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನೀವು ಯಾವ ತರ ಇಂಟರ್ವ್ಯೂ ನಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಯಾವ ತರ ಕ್ವೆಶನ್ಸ್ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರು. See, all this you can talk to the people who are already there. And if you can't just walk into an office or company and say, talk to somebody there. You can only do this when you're already working there as an apprentice. People who know you will be able to guide you. But if they don't know you, they'll say, why are you bothering me? Please leave me alone, antare. Okay. So now, what you need to do is, so now what are the entry-level jobs? See, you as a student, you may have done your apprenticeship, but you're only looking at the entry-level job. Nobody is going to take you in as a manager or team manager or whatever it is they call, a top man nowadays. So you need to start from the bottom, entry level. What do you do? What are the job requirements? What kind of jobs are available and what are the job requirements? Then you have what other career areas are related to your work. Okay, sales nal ನನಗೆ ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಇದೆ, ಒಪ್ಕೋತೀನಿ. But sales ನಲ್ಲಿ ಸಿಕ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ next ಏನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು? You can't just say, okay, I will just wait till a sales opening comes up and then I will go and apply. It doesn't work that way because you need a job. So you have to find out what other related areas are there. If not the kind of career that I want, what are the related areas that I can go in for? What are the career paths generally available? What is the prognosis? How do I rise up in this particular career? What is the profile of the person recently hired at my level? So at the entry level, ಹೊಸದಾಗಿ ಕೆಲಸಕ್ಕೆ ಸೇರ್ಕೊಂಡಿರೋ ಪ್ರೊಫೈಲ್ ಏನು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅವರ educational qualification ಏನು, our training ಏನು, and what were their interests, what were the questions they were asked in the interview. So you can find out all this. What are some of the current issues and trends in the field? That's another important thing. See, what we teach you in the colleges is a syllabus that is only going to be updated every 5 years. But technology is changing so fast that what is the in thing today becomes obsolete tomorrow. So ಇವತ್ತು in thing ಇರೋದು ನಾಳೆ ಆಗ್ಲೇ ಹಳೆ ಟೆಕ್ನಾಲಜಿ ಆಗೋಗಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಹೊಸದಾಗ್ಲೇ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಬಟ್ ನಾವು ಪ್ರತಿ ವರ್ಷ ನಾವು ಸಿಲೆಬಸ್ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಇಲ್ಲ. We do it once in 5 years. So now, in order to keep abreast of all the developments, you have to study on your own. So ನಿಮ್ಮ ಫೀಲ್ಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು ಅದರ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಾ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ನೀವು ತಿಳ್ಕೋಬೇಕು, ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಾ ಮಾಹಿತಿಗಳನ್ನ ನೀವು ತಿಳ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಅವರು ಸಿಲೆಬಸ್ ಪ್ರಕಾರ ಪಾಠ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತಾರೆ. We are not able to digress from the syllabus. We cannot go outside of our syllabus because we have a certain constraint, and we have to teach you in order to be able to write the exam. Within that framework we teach you. Maybe we can discuss something about the new development in extra classes, but it is not always possible to do it during the regular class hours. So what do? You have to show some interest. You have to go online maybe, or get new books and keep abreast of whatever changes are happening in your field. So current trends and fields, because naale ನೀವು interview ಹೋದಾಗ, these are some of the questions you will be asked. People will not ask you what you studied in your 3 years of diploma or maybe 4 years of engineering or whatever it is that you have studied. People will ask you what is happening now, ಇವಗಿರೋ current trends ಏನು, ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಅದನ್ನ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀರಾ, ಆ ತರ questions ಕೇಳೋದು. So then when you talk to people who are already working there, they say, what do you do? You can ask them, ನೀವು ಈ ಕೆಲಸದಲ್ಲಿ what are your duties, and ನೀವು ಕೆಲಸನ ಹೆಂಗ್ ಶುರು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರಿ, how did you begin your career, what is the typical day for, like, so ನಿಮ್ಮ ಒಂದು ದಿನದ typical day ಏನೇನ್ ಕೆಲಸಗಳು ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ, what is it that you do, how does your job affect your general lifestyle. See, like I said, you're not an island. You need to also pay attention to your personal life. Your career is one thing, your personal life is another. You need to be able to blend the two, and you need to make sure that your career does not infringe on your personal life. Your personal life does not infringe on your career. You need to keep a balance. So now, how does this career affect your personal life? What is your position? How does your position fit within the organization or industry or career? So ನಿಮ್ಮ position ಅಂದ್ರೆ whatever position that you join work as, ಇದು ಯಾವ level ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆ. Are you right at the bottom, sweeper level, or are you right at the top, CEO level, or which level in between? What are the rewards, challenges, frustrations of your work? So rewards, ಪ್ರತಿ ಸತಿ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಏನಾದ್ರು ನಮ್ಗೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರೋ ಕೆಲಸ, task complete ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ you feel very happy. But sometimes these tasks can be challenging. So what are the kind of challenges that you face? Then frustrations. Sometimes nimge whatever task you're entrusted with, you don't get the required output. You get frustrated. Sometimes you also get frustrated because you're expecting some promotions or something, it doesn't happen, you become frustrated. And what are the rewards? ಅದರಿಂದ ಬರೋದು ನಮಗೆ ಏನು rewards ಇದೆ? See, these are some of the things that you need to think of. You can ask, what are the major qualification for success? So if I want to get a job in this kind of job, what are the qualifications that I must get? Then you can go in for certificate training. Like I said, there are so many NGOs that offer free training. There are also so many other institutes that give training in whatever field that you require. So get experience, get experience, get experience. That's very important. So the best thing would be to go in as an apprentice. Now, what are the, when you make decisions, what are the factors that influence your decisions? The factors influencing decisions are: one, information factors. So you get all this information, you talk to people, you go through all those articles that are written about the particular career you want. So adra ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ನೀವು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀರಾ. So ಎಲ್ಲ information ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಡಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ ನೀವು ಡಿಸೈಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ. So one is information factor. The next is decision making experience. So you need to make your own decision, and each time your decision turns out to be the right one. You correct decision ತಗೊಂಡಾಗ ನಿಮ್ಮ decision making ability ಮೇಲೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಒಂದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಕಾನ್ಫಿಡೆನ್ಸ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. You become confident about your decision making abilities. So then you can say, yes, if I do this, I'm going to be successful. I'm going to be happy. Personal factors. So apart from this, you need to worry about, you need to think about your personal life, your parents, your family, and maybe tomorrow you might get married, about the person you're going to get married to. All those things you need to think about. And that is why I said you need to keep updating your career plan at least once a year. Do it annually. And with all this, when you do have a particular plan in mind, when you have planned your career, your life is going to be that much happier, because you're going to be that much more, peaceful. You know exactly what you want to do. So tomorrow you're not worried about the future, because you've already made plans for your future. You've already taken the steps to make that future that you have in mind happen. You've already taken the required training. You've already got the required apprenticeship experience. So you've already done whatever is required for a job in that career. So then you will be happy. Otherwise, you become very anxious. You say, oh my God, I'm going to finish my diploma. What do I do next? You become very anxious. So before I end this session, I would like to show a small video about this career planning that I was talking about this whole time. Yeah.
It present money. Screen present.
Just minutes.
I don't know, 45 minutes. Tell me. ಸೌಂಡ್ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ನಾನು ಬೇರೆ ಪ್ಲೇಯರ್ ಪ್ಲೇ ಮಾಡೋಣ.
ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದಲ್ಲ, ಇದಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು?
ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು?
Okay. ಸರಿ. ಆಯ್ತಾ, ಮುಗೀತಾ? Okay, I hope you enjoyed watching this video, and I hope the video gave you, like it sums up in a nutshell what I have been talking about this whole 1 hour. So now I hope, at least if not earlier, today you can sit and start planning your career, because remember, you're going to be doing this for the next 30 years of your life. So if you're not interested in what you're doing, it's going to make your life miserable. So in order to avoid that, and in order to have a concrete idea of what you want to do when you finish your course, I suggest that you sit today. Maybe sit with people who think like you know, your friends or whoever it is, and make a list of the kind of, make a list of what you know about yourself, the kind of career that you want to do, and the kind of training that you need to get, all those things, and you come up with a plan for your career. And this will make you a winner in your life. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day. God bless. Oh, okay. Can I sit